Welcome to Revenue Growth Live with Daryl Amy. You're about to join an interactive forum where business executives, sales professionals, and marketing leaders share ideas to accelerate growth. While you are here, make sure to like or subscribe to get notifications for future episodes. You're encouraged to get involved in today's live conversation by liking and commenting. Now, let's join Daryl Amy for fresh ideas and innovative strategies to help you grow your business faster.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to Revenue Growth Live. Daryl Amy here, growth architect, helping great companies grow so they can give. I'm glad you're here today. I'm really excited about the topic that we have. We're going to talk about the importance of developing business acumen, developing and being able to be conversant and coherent in the language of business. And so today we're going to have a really powerful and impactful discussion. So I'm glad you're here. By the way, if you're here live, welcome. I'm thankful that you're here. I'd love for you to chime in on the chat with any questions or comments as we go through. And if you're watching later on, welcome. We're live now on Facebook, YouTube, and we're working on getting everything live on LinkedIn soon. So it's going to be really exciting. And the goal here is very simple. It's to have a conversation about growth. What can we do to drive revenue growth? And, you know, right now, and I want to say a huge shout out to all of the people out there in the community. I just got off of a conversation with a fantastic leader of sales enablement for a company in the Netherlands. We were talking about their plans and strategies going into 2021. And we were looking at their revenue growth engine and looking at different things that they could do to drive net new business and cross-sell more to their current client base. And I just, I leave conversations like that and I get to have them with so many different types of companies as we're working on strategies for 2021 and beyond. And I just want to say, hats off. Like, seriously, this is a very critical inflection moment in the lives of so many of us as sales professionals, as sales leaders, marketing professionals, and business owners. 2021 is a year where we truly need to work together to make sure that we are setting things up to be successful. It's going to be a make or break year for many organizations. What does that mean? Well, it means that we've got to do things differently, right? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting the same results is the definition of insanity. But I'll tell you what the definition of super insanity is doing the same things that we did in the previous environment, expecting that they're all going to work in the new environment. I'm not saying we throw everything out by any stretch, but I am saying that right now is a really critical time to have a strategic conversation and to look inside our teams and to be talking with our ideal clients about what's going on in their world. What are they struggling with? How has their business changed? And that really brings us to the topic of what I want to talk about today on Revenue Growth Live. And that is this important topic of business acumen. Business acumen. When you think about your business, really remember, and we talk about this in Revenue Growth Engine in the book, people don't buy the products that you sell, they buy the outcomes those products deliver. So I love, and you hear me, I always like to hold up, I keep this on my desk. This is a drill bit. Looks like about an 1/8 inch drill bit. And this is a product, right? It's for sale. I'm sure you can buy drill bits on Amazon. I'm sure you can buy them at Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace Hardware, wherever fine drill bits are sold. But what Theodore Levitt, the father of modern marketing, used to say to his Harvard Business School class that's resonated ever since he said it was, nobody buys products. Nobody has ever gone to the store to buy a drill bit. What they went to buy was the outcome that drill bit produced. That outcome in the case of a drill bit means they went to buy the hole. Or as we always like to talk about, Seth Godin would say, well, they didn't really buy the hole. Seth Godin would say they actually bought the ability to hang the plaque on the wall so that when people came into their office, that they would earn respect, right? So I guess, yeah, there it is. So right behind me, I had to drill a hole in the wall to hang the Revenue Growth Engine book on my wall. So I would have a personal brand. So I didn't buy the drill bit. I bought the ability to have a personal brand. And I love how Donald Miller takes it a step further. And he says, you know what? We actually were all cavemen at one point, and we realized that if we didn't stay in community and people didn't like us, we were probably going to die. So whether people, whatever motivation, if they needed a hole, if they needed to hang something on the wall, or they were afraid of dying, the reality is whoever went to Home Depot to buy this drill bit didn't buy the drill bit. They bought the outcome this drill bit enabled. And the same thing goes for our business, for our clients. And for those of us in the B2B space, I want to talk to you directly today, because in order to have a conversation about your product or service that's meaningful to your clients, you need to have a deep understanding of what your clients want and how they keep score. So let's think about this topic of business acumen today, right? Really, if you think about it, you don't sell products. No one sells products here. You may think you sell products. You don't sell products. What you sell is outcomes. You sell the outcomes those products and services deliver. So by the way, when you're selling, if you're in sales, don't lead with the product, lead with the outcome in all of your sales conversations. If you're in marketing and you're writing a web page, you're creating a blog, you're doing a social post, you're creating a Facebook ad, doesn't matter. Lead with the outcomes, because buyers don't buy products. They buy the outcomes those products and services deliver. And when I'm thinking about outcomes, I'm thinking about a couple things. I'm thinking about goals, or we could say aspirations. And I'm thinking about, let's go full screen here, also thinking about problems. So let's think problems, or also risks would be another subset of that. So when I'm thinking about business outcomes, I'm thinking about, okay, when it comes to my ideal client, right? My ideal client, what are their goals? What are their goals right now? And what do they want to accomplish? So it depends, what industry you're in. But if you think about it, every business, if you're in the B2B space, has goals, right? And those goals, many of them are financial goals. And so if you think about your product, and we all know, since I've moved to the South from Canada, I've learned a few things. One of the things I learned is when it comes to making profit, right? So everyone wants profit. How do you make profit? Well, they say in the South, either raise the bridge or you lower the water, right? So I make profit by increasing revenue, lowering expenses. This is the heart of business acumen right here, is being able to connect your product and your service to the actual financial scorecard results that your ideal clients want. And then also, so how the question to you is, what can you do to help? How can your products or services, sorry about that, help your clients increase profit by dropping revenue, or increasing revenue, or reducing expenses, right? And we won't get into a full P&L unpacking here, but I got cost of goods sold and I've got overhead, SG&A expense, right? Maybe we'll do that on a future episode. But how do I take my product, my service, and then take that through to having a discussion with a current client or a prospect about their business, their goals, and their needs? This is what we need. Is we need more business acumen. We need to be able to drive these conversations. And the better we're able to do that, the more effective we're going to be in communicating. It reminds me of, I was working a couple of years ago. I had the privilege of redesigning sales training for a large technology company. And it was great because we got to roll that out globally across thousands of salespeople in 29 different languages. Fortunately, I didn't have to speak all 29 languages to do the program. But what happened was, inside that, this is a great technology company, incredible products. But when we did the training, one of the modules in the training was this little module on how to read a P&L statement and how to translate your product through to a P&L statement, so that you could have that business outcomes conversation about what challenges are you facing in your business today, and then how does the solution relate to increasing revenue, reducing cost of goods sold, reducing expenses, and other components of that. And we also looked at balance sheets, which is maybe we'll do on a future Revenue Growth Live. But the idea behind this was, look, at the end of the day, what businesses want is they want the outcome, right? They want the results. So don't sell the widget that you sell the results that you deliver, and make sure that everything you do is squarely aimed at the financial results and what it takes to get there. The other thing that businesses want that we need to become fluent in is right over here. Outcomes are goals and aspirations, but also problems. So how many of you would agree right now that companies have a lot of problems? I mean, this right now is a time where there are problems everywhere. So, the question then back to your clients is, what are your problems? What are the biggest problems you have that are current? Now, here's the deal. I could ask someone, I could probably make a list. If you ask me in my business, the businesses I'm involved in, what problems do we have? Reality, there's probably several dozen that I'm aware of. There's probably even more below the surface that I'm not aware of at all. But the reality is, I've got to do one of two things as a marketer or sales rep. First of all, I need to pick one of the top 3 problems and connect my solution or service or product to those top 3 problems. If not, guess what? I'm not relevant. I may be down here with one of my problems, but if it's not in the top 3, guess what? All the attention and budget is focused up here. So I've got to do one of two things. I need to make sure that I am able to connect my product or service to the top 3 problems that they have, or, and this is the alternative, I've got to be able to take this problem down here, and I've got to be able to take this problem and elevate it up into the top 3. Y'all tracking with me on that? And that's where what we've got to be able to do is we've got to be able to set this up so that we become relevant. And this whole business acumen conversation today is actually, and obviously I excelled in business strategy and not in drawing pictures. So thanks for visiting my whiteboard here on my iPad. But if you think about it, the whole sum total of this conversation is this. If you want to get attention with your ideal clients, talk about the outcomes that they want, either the top goals they're trying to achieve or the top problems that they have, and make sure that you're connected to that. You may be able to solve a problem that's on 25th place on their list. Guess what? They'll say, hey, that's great, wonderful, thank you, but we're focused on these 3 top problems. So when we get these problems solved, we'll talk to you. Well, that never happens. So make sure you understand those big problems and make sure you find a way to get a hook from your product or service into the biggest problems that they have. If you're not on the top 3 list of their problems or goals, you're probably not going anywhere. So this whole topic of business acumen is really, really critical. There's so much more to say about it. But I will say this. If you're in marketing or if you're in sales, probably the best thing you can do is, yes, read a marketing book. Yes, read a sales book. And thank you for reading Revenue Growth Engine. I really appreciate it. But also read a book about business. And, there are so many different books out there about business. One of my favorite books on business is a book called Traction by Gino Wickman, which works really good because our operating consulting company, Convergo, works with companies that use the EOS Traction methodology. So read business books, read books about operations, read books about finance, read books about strategy, blue ocean strategy. You want to have a good conversation with a decision maker, read Blue Ocean Strategy, read Patrick Lencioni's books. I mean, just read Tom Peters, go through and make sure that you are understanding and the language of business so that you can talk credibly about these outcomes. And if you want to get a hint as to what these top three goals are, or what these top three problems are in your client base, here's where you start. Pick up the phone, call your current clients. Marketing people, get out in the field, or really, I guess more relevantly right now, lurk on some client Zoom meetings, or get on Microsoft Teams, your platform of choice. Be out there and talk to your current clients, interview them for case studies. I was talking with Douglas Burdett about that on the Marketing Book podcast episode, which is coming out very soon, by the way. Stay tuned for that. But we were talking about how one of the best things marketing people can do is just, go talk to current clients, do case study interviews, success stories, get testimonials, listen in on the meetings, do surveys, because they'll tell you what their biggest problems are. They'll also tell you what their biggest goals and aspirations are. And that becomes the seeds, the ingredients for a fantastic message that's going to resonate. Salespeople, same thing. Go talk to your clients and read books about business. Get stuff like I just see in my background, right? Subscribe to magazines, right? Entrepreneurs, there's stuff you can learn about business. Inc. 500. And by the way, I want to see some Revenue Growth Live viewers and Revenue Growth Podcast listeners on the Inc. 500. That's where we're going. Learn. Here's another. So many resources here. Check this out. Go online. This one's Harvard Business Review. Get that. It costs money. Yes, but it's an investment in yourself. And then also, if you want to learn about business, go out online and download the special reports. Download what's going on out there, right? Download these things, print them off, and learn the language of business so that you can have those conversations. So, and not only that, like find the trade magazines, right? Find the trade magazines. Shout out to my friend, Bill Frazier on the cover of this magazine. Looking good, Bill. But find the trade magazines and learn about what's going on in the industries that you serve so you can have those conversations. There are magazines to different buyer personas. I subscribe to CFO magazine. I get CIO magazine because I want to understand what's going on in some of the top level executive decision makers. So business acumen is the name of the game. If you're in marketing, talk to your clients, read the stuff, read business books and magazines and blogs, of course, for all of the above. If you're in sales, talk to your clients, ask about their goals and challenges, read the business books, read the magazines, and in your industry and just magazines in business in general. You will build business acumen and it will give you tremendous competitive advantage. Speaking of competitive advantage, check out the latest episode of the Revenue Growth Podcast. I got to talk with Nick Runyon about tactile marketing automation. If you ever heard of that before, it's a new category. And if you want to learn about it, listen to the podcast. Check it out. Nick Runyon on the Revenue Growth Podcast. We've got another great episode coming up next week as well. And while you're out there, I'd like to ask a special favor of everybody. Get a copy of Revenue Growth Engine. You can now get it on audible.com if you want to put it in your ear, or get the book. And would you do me a favor? Leave a review. When you do that, it is tremendously helpful in helping the book get found on Amazon. And, at the end of the day, our mission here is very simple. We want to help great people and companies grow. And when we grow, we're able to create meaningful jobs. We're able to give back to the community. And we all know that right now in 2021 coming up, this is a year where it's going to be critical that we drive and thrive. So I want to encourage you to just keep at it, cheer you on. Let's get strategic here in the fourth quarter. Let's finish strong on this year. And until next time, which will be Tuesday at 12 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Pacific, let's get going and let's get growing.